Good evening, my fellow citizens.
And welcome to Tuesdays Live. Hey, everybody, how are you tonight? Mark here. Hey, what's going on? I am the host tonight, and well, pretty much every Tuesday. Well, when we can. Obviously, if you tried to tune in last week, we did not have a show. Last second, we had some technical issues with our guests, so we had to cancel. And unfortunately, that's the way things go when you're trying to do a live video show sometimes, and you have three people located all over the world. We got Rich, who's up in Illinois. I'm down here in South Florida. I forget where our guest was from last week. I think somewhere in California. Tonight, our guest is from Vancouver, and I'm going to talk about her in just a minute. But first, let me remind you all out there that we are an interactive show. What that means, pretty simple. We like to interact with you, the audience. The way to do so is get onto Twitter and give us a mention at All Indie, ALLINDIE. And if you give us a mention there, we'll give you a shout out right here on the air, and we'll show your tweet right here at the bottom of the screen. And if you live in the US or Canada, you can also call us with any questions you might have. Right there's the number. Other side there. Well, whatever. I'll get it right one of these days. Area code 347-985-0344. Again, 347-985-0344. Give us a call if you would like to ask any questions on the air. We would be happy to hear from you. And let me go ahead and introduce to you my partner in crime. Like I said, he's in Illinois in a little town. I've always used to make fun of his population, not his population, the population of his town. His population is 1 and remains 1. The population of the town probably closer to 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rich Wildman. Hey, Rich.
Mark, I got to tell you, buddy, there are almost 9,000 people living in this small town. And yeah.
All right. Okay.
I
see
mean,
how
it is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, if you need some new jokes, I'll be happy to give them to you. I mean,
Look,
I'm just saying.
Every week we have new audience, and we have to,
you've mentioned that you run out of jokes for the town I live in. You can't make fun of it anymore. I'm happy to supply you with jokes.
About your town?
Oh yeah, happy.
Oh hell, pass them on. I'll start reading them off next week.
Not a problem. I got a whole notebook filled, so I'll just send them right over.
Yeah, please. I would love to see that. How are things in your 9,000 population town?
It's not bad. We had enough rain over the last couple of days. We got about 2 inches of rain or so over the last couple of days. So my brother and I, we were able to get our boat dock back in the water. It had got blown up by a storm here a couple of years ago, and we finally got up the gumption and actually got out there and got it off the shoreline and off the rocks and got it back in place. So we're happy.
Oh, well, that's great. You get your paddle boat back in the water?
No, we haven't got the boat back in the water yet, but we did get the dock set up. We still got to put some stabilizing posts in along the shoreline there for the dock, but it is back up and seaworthy again, so that's good. And not seaworthy, lake-worthy, I guess.
Seaworthy.
Yeah, it's lake-worthy. And speaking of lake-worthy, I know another guy who lives on a lake. It's a much bigger lake than I live on, though, and that is Mr. Walt Hargrave, and he is the owner, proprietor, and big guy, I guess, down at the Indie Music Bus. And the Indie Music Bus is one of our supporters, and we love them for it. And we'd like to tell you a little bit about the Indie Music Bus. Indie Music Bus at indiemusicbus.com is where any indie artist who's having issues with their social media, just wants to get out there to more radio stations, whether it's an online station, a terrestrial station, or whatever. You want to get your music heard. You want to get people to listen to it. You want to get people to read your social media, interact with you, and you interact with them. Go to indiemusicbus.com. Take a look. They can do a lot. At the Indie Music Bus, and just tell Walt that you heard it here on Tuesdays Live. It'll be very cool. He'll appreciate it, and we will too.
And he'll know he's getting his money's worth as our sponsor.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's right. All right.
I'm going to open up a bunch of new Twitter accounts, and I'm going to say, I heard about you from Tuesdays Live.
That's a good idea. Yeah. And oh yeah, all right, let's not even go there. I'll tell you what I am gonna do is I am gonna introduce our guest, bring her into the mix. Joining us from Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. Really nice, talented woman, and you're gonna love her. Now I have to tell you, I meant to ask her exactly how to pronounce her last name, but I'm gonna find out whether I got it right or not. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Michelle Joly or Joly? What is it?
Okay. So, hello, Mark. Thanks for having me on the show. My name's Michelle. It's actually Joly, which is French, but because it's my stepdad, I don't speak French. I tell people it's Joly because I don't want to be Michelle Joly. Yeah. So it's Joly in English, but I meshed the English and the French, so now it's Michelle Joly, like Angelina Jolie spelled differently.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. But I'm like,
lots
you know
of people
what?
Say Joly.
Yeah, but Joly would have two L's in it, right?
That's right.
Okay. Joly, Michelle Joly.
So just so you know, Mark, my actual last name is Baranowski. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not. Now, is that with an S-K-I or S-K-Y?
Okay, well, my dad spelled it with S-K-Y, but I spell it with S-K-I.
Okay, because I have an S-K-I last name.
Oh, so, yeah, mine's S-K-I.
I thought maybe for a second we were in the same tribe there or something, you know.
We could be. I'm S-K-I.
Hey, you are now, but your dad was S-K-Y.
Yeah, but when I was born, he wrote on my birth certificate S-K-I.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just say. All right. So, now, so is it Polish heritage? Do you have Polish heritage? All right. So then you like pierogies.
Oh my God, I love pierogies.
Yeah, me too. We got a place down here that's got great pierogies. Ever make it down here to Florida and tour down here? You got to check it. Well, let me know. I'll take you to this place for some awesome pierogies. All right.
I will let you know. But guess what? I grew up in a small town called Glendon, Alberta, and we have the world's largest pierogi on a fork as a statue, as the town monument. It's really big. I wish I had a picture.
That's a big pierogi. That would be Italian. All right. Anyway.
Whoa. I got to ask, what was the name of the town?
Glendon, Alberta.
Glendon, Alberta. Okay, all right.
If you research it, you'll find. Yeah.
I'm going to research it while you guys are talking.
All right. Now that I'm hungry, let's talk about where you live now. Vancouver, beautiful city. So I've been told. I've seen pictures. I have not been there yet. How's the music scene over there in Vancouver?
I mean, to tell you the truth, it's not like super awesome. I mean, there's definitely other places in Canada that have a more supportive music audience. but there's some really talented musicians here. There's a lot of people to connect with. So I didn't necessarily move here for the music scene. I moved here more for the nature and the beautiful, the ocean and that kind of vibe, but also for the networking. That's why I moved here. So it's okay now. I'm gigging regularly, but it's kind of a hard scene to break into because there's not a lot of venues.
Well, we got to fix that. We got to get some more venues up there. So then you moved to Vancouver from this, what's it, Glendale?
Glendon. But no, I kind of grew up in Glendon, between Glendon and St. Paul area. But I moved all over Canada, but I kind of found my place in Red Deer, Alberta for about 6 years before I moved to Vancouver.
Okay. So, all right. I'm trying to picture your music career in Glendon. So did it must have got, no career? No.
It's a hamlet. It's a hamlet. Do you know what a hamlet is?
I
Okay.
only when it comes to Shakespeare. No.
So there's like 500 people in the town.
Oh, wow. So, you must have had a sold out crowd every night.
Actually, my grandparents were musicians, so they had a family band, and they made a living at it for a while. I'm not sure how many years, but they mostly just performed at local, parties and weddings and that kind of thing. There wasn't really a live music venue per se.
And if they did, to keep it in perspective and proportion, it would seat 5 people, right? And then so that when 5 people came to see you, you could say you were sold out. So,
That happened to me in Port Alberni, actually.
Oh, you were sold out with 5 people?
Yeah.
That's my kind of venue. Oh gosh.
Real quick. I got an update for you here. I want to show you the world's largest fork with something on the end of it.
Wait.
It's a pierogi, Rich. I'm telling you.
You're gonna like it. It's huge, monstrous.
Wow. I'm telling you, that's even better than the world's largest ball of yarn. I mean, really, that's just like awesome.
It's
okay.
Big.
So, I traveled, I lived between Glendon and St. Paul, Alberta for years. And St. Paul actually has the world's largest landing pad, like alien landing pad. And there's like an alien pizza there and like an alien information center. We know all about aliens.
Wow. I know where this show's going, Mark. It's the Google tour of Canada.
There you go. Your immigration officers must really be having a ball with that alien landing pad over there. No.
We have had a few landing pads on there. Yeah.
Does Canada have it? So is that like Canada's version of Area 52 that we have? Is that like, it's not or is that's like a tourist site?
Yeah, there's actually been a lot of sightings of like cow mutilations and like crop circles and stuff like that in that general area.
So that's a new version of the movie. If you build it, they will come. All right. Okay. So we need to build an alien landing pad, and then let's see what happens to the cows. All right. That works. Okay. All right. We're doing so well with talking about your musical career so far, aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't worry. When Rich comes on, he will talk about nothing but. So, we have a bet going, by the way, folks. At the end of the show, which one, either Rich or myself, is more boring? All right.
Rich.
All right. What we're gonna do, though, we're at a quarter after the hour here. We're gonna go ahead and play your first song of the evening, which is "Preach." And so, what I would like for you to do is to tell us a little bit about the song, what it's about, how it came to be, what inspired you to write it, whatever little tidbits you want to share with the audience out there. So, Mike is yours.
So basically, I met this woman. Her name is Jazz Gill, and we met at this, I can't remember what it was, some event. She drove me home. She came inside. She showed me some lyrics because I sang her a song. And she said, hey, I have these lyrics. She ended up leaving the lyrics at my place by accident. And one day, like a couple days later, I opened up the lyrics knowing that I probably shouldn't be looking at. These are not my lyrics. And I seen Preach, and I was practicing A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke, and something just like inspired me right there, and I literally like wrote the music and the melody line to Preach in like 10 minutes, and it really never changed from there. But all the lyrics were actually written by Jazz Gill, but the lyrics it was like they were mine. And I think that's why the song was so easy to write, because I could relate to every single lyric. And I think a lot of people can.
All right, cool. Well, let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, the name of the song is Preach by Michelle Joly, right here on Tuesdays Live. Take it away, Rich.
Don't preach to me about wrong or right. I'll be the one to define my life. Don't wanna color in the lines no more. Wanna know what I was born here for. I have questions, I'm looking for answers. Does the devil love me? Is there a heaven? I'll find my way. Hey, I'll make mistakes. I'll make mistakes. I'll make mistakes. I'll make mistakes. It's about living into risk we take. To cry at night, but never feel passion. Love is something we can risk it all. There is glory in love, there's story in love. Wanna know we have this life for our creator. To dance and sing before we meet our maker. Our days are numbered, live while we still can. No use living with regrets. Wishing you took the stand for what you wanted. Your God-given right to follow dreams with all your might. No one needs to understand. I'm living my life. Been afraid too long. I'm hurting anyone now. There's everyone to please, so I'm living my life for me. Don't preach to me about wrong or right. I'll be the one to define my life. Don't wanna color in the lines no more. Wanna know what I was born here for. I have questions, I'm looking for answers. Does the devil love me? Is there a heaven? I'll find my way. Yeah, I'll make mistakes. 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 I'll make mistakes.
That was Preach by Michelle Joly from Vancouver, Canada. Oh, Michelle. Oh, okay. You are there. Okay. You look frozen for a second. I thought maybe we lost you.
was like-
You were like,
maybe I was just like that.
so anyway, so we just found out off the air that apparently that's the remix. So I guess we
That is
played
the
the wrong
remix.
version. But
It's-
either way, it was still.
Yeah, it wasn't the wrong version, but actually that version hasn't really been released yet. I do have it on my SoundCloud, but it was a remix from a guy in Italy called Luigi, and he reached out to me and wanted to remix one of my songs. So I sent him a few, and he picked Preach. And so we're kind of just getting into the release of that song. It hasn't quite been released, so it's not available for sale, and we don't have it on YouTube yet.
Luigi, I wonder if his brother Mario helped out at all.
I think so.
Yes. All right. I wonder how many turtles had to die in that fiasco. Jeez. I am going to turn it over to my boring partner, Rich. Hey, Rich.
Rich, you just get all the... I see why...
It takes a lot of work to offend the whole country of Italy in less than 30 minutes.
Listen, hey. It's funny. If our president does it, it's fine. But if I do it, forget about it. All right.
Yeah, I'm
That's
just
right.
saying.
All right.
I'm just saying. So, well, I got to tell you, it's a pleasure to have you on with us, Michelle. Now that we've gotten rid of
Thank you so
Mark,
much.
we can actually talk a little bit about your music. Now, you and I had a lovely conversation yesterday, and
Yes,
I
we
know,
did.
I know that when your career, when your first album was released, you were touring a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know where I'm going, right?
I do.
Yeah. Now, I understand you had some issues here in the States. Can you tell us a little bit about that, perhaps? Now, I don't want to make it like, oh, the States are horrible, horrible, but in this case, they were, I guess they were just doing their job, but they could have been nicer, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, they were doing their job, but it was pretty harsh. And to tell you the truth, everybody, once we got into jail, okay, so I guess I should tell you the story.
Yeah,
Okay.
you let the cat out of the bag. I was hoping you'd draw it out a
I
little bit.
forgot. Okay. So basically what happened is I booked the entire tour myself, like 93 days across Canada. And it was a North American tour. So I booked 5 shows in the States, and I knew that I needed a work visa to work there, but I wasn't getting paid for majority of the places. So we were just, showing up, getting like room and board. And I told this to the border. I don't know, correctional. I don't know what they're called actually.
Border guard.
Border officers. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I crossed over, I didn't lie. I said, I'm on tour. I'm not getting paid for these things. So they sent me away and they said, come back with all the information, like emails and such, stating that these places are not paying you. So I went and I stayed in this like moldy house for 2 days. I'm not joking. In St. Stephen's in New Brunswick, there was this house that I stayed in, and the whole house was full of mold. Oh. And anyway, there I happened to get emails from everybody. So when I went back, I brought some CDs with me because they said I could bring up to 200 CDs. So when I went back, I crossed over and I checked off, no, I didn't have any commercial merchandise, which is the same thing that I checked off the previous night that I had been there. But they hadn't said anything to me at that moment. And when they asked me, do you have CDs with you? I said, yes, they took them and they immediately charged me with smuggling because I had checked off, no, I didn't have any commercial merchandise, even though I showed them where the CDs were and everything. I had about 800 coming over, and then I shipped the rest to Kenora. Like I put them in a box so that they would be in Kenora when we came back through the States, Kenora, Ontario,
So
in Alberta.
So you're a cross-border international smuggler now.
I guess I was charged $500 for smuggling on the spot before anything else happened, and then one of the guys was the same and one was different, and we went to a different border. There's a few things we went to a different border crossing because it was closer. It was recommended by the guys house that I was staying at, the Moldy house. There was no reason why we went to a different border crossing, but when we got there, we were held suspicious because we were crossing through again at a different border. And
I just have one question here. Now you're a smart young lady, and there's no doubt about that. I can just tell that by looking at you.
Thank you.
But I have one thing that I have to take a little bit of a different direction than you might have. You listen to the guy in the moldy house. I'm just saying. Okay.
Bad idea. I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a moldy house.
It was crazy. What happened after this was they said, "Where were you staying the last 2 days?" Because this guy knew I was staying somewhere. Where were you staying? Who were you staying with? So I told him. I gave the phone number to this guy. Yeah. I gave the phone number to this guy. And turns out this guy isn't even allowed to cross into the States. He has all these crazy things that, like, I don't even know. But then they started yelling at me and being like, "How do you know this guy? And who is this guy?" And I didn't know him. He was just somebody that I met through my uncle's brother, who I also didn't know. So it was just like a connection of somewhere to stay. And so I was all flustered, and I ended up just telling them that I was getting paid for this one show that I was doing that was a fundraiser. So I specifically set up this fundraiser through my uncle's brother, and they were paying me $400 only so that I could put gas in my car to get across the States. And I ended up telling the border guards this. And immediately I was arrested. But I only told them that because they said to me, "If you don't tell us the truth, we're going to throw you in jail." And I was like, this is so not worth it. So I told the truth, and they still
threw you in jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest here, some good actually came out of your jail time.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying you're totally reformed, because honestly, we don't know each other that well, so I couldn't, but, just some good did come from her.
For sure, yeah. We went to jail. I was like super happy the whole time because I felt innocent in jail, and I thought nobody
gets
out
of the moldy house. So yeah,
exactly. And we had like really bad food, so I was really excited to like eat some bad food that I didn't like. But honestly, I loved the experience because I felt like I was in jail, innocent, and I knew we were getting out of jail. I knew there was no way any judge was going to keep us there. However, we did spend 4 days there because our lawyers didn't know how to deal with our situation. So they said, "You know what? We think you should just go to jail, and then we'll bring you back on like Friday," which was 4 days later. And hopefully the judge just says time served. And so we went with that.
And the judge said, "Yeah, okay, time served, done. Just get your P's and Q's in order before you come back, and it'll be good."
Yes.
But now I understand that you had the opportunity, had penned 3 songs while you were in jail.
I did. So I wrote 3 songs. Before I even went to jail, I started writing one called Cold Home. And it was kind of like
now could that have been could Cold Home, in all honesty, been an unconscious homage to the moldy house?
I never thought about that. I did not think about that at all. So possibly.
Okay. All right. Tell us about the music you wrote while in jail. You and Johnny Cash are the only 2 people I know have been to jail and wrote music.
See, I knew it. And so I was there. I was writing this song in the cell, and I kept asking them, "Please, can I have a pen and a paper?" and they refused to give me a pen and paper. So I just sang and sang and sang so I could remember the lyric, because I was like, oh, this lyric is so good and it's the story, right? So I sang it for like 3 hours, and they asked me to like be quiet. And then after that, we got into the van. They handcuffed us and put the air conditioning on us, drove us 2 hours to Bangor, Maine. When we got into jail, I was still singing my song, and I got they put you in basically like a cell with another person, and then there's kind of like 6 cells that are side by side, and you kind of share like a bathroom and stuff. And I was there for I don't know how many hours, but quite a few hours. And finally, one of the girls gave me a pencil after I had asked several times. And then I wrote my song on this napkin here. I still have this napkin from jail. Okay.
Yeah,
literally, this is cold. Cold Home is written on this.
That's amazing. It really is. And
wow, Rich, we have our first Polish Canadian mafia smuggler on the show.
I love it.
yeah, you know, there's got to be some kind of prize for that, but I'm afraid if we had one, she'd have to come get it, and they would throw her back in the slammer. So, you know, I'm glad we don't have a prize.
You know what? It's been 5 years, so apparently I'm allowed to come back over.
Yeah, we got a new president now. Be careful.
Yeah,
okay.
Watch it with this guy. Wait until 2020, will you please?
I'm getting a work visa.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Do it right.
It still doesn't mean a whole lot. You know, we may have a border wall up there by then with Canada even. You never know.
You know how dangerous these Canadians are.
We're pretty dangerous. Actually, if you research it and you look, a lot of the comments, people were like infuriated that they were spending their tax dollars on putting me and because there was another girl that was with me. Her name's Carrie Ann Sadler. She was with me too. And just the time and the money that was put into putting us in jail, and nobody could believe we were in jail.
Now that you mention it, I think I remember that there was a poster out. It was the Michelle and Marianne gang, if I remember correctly. And they were crossing in from the north. Yeah, I remember this. I do. There was some kind of reward, but you know.
You rode horses too, right? You rode horses in and out.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, actually, I grew up on a horse ranch.
It wasn't horses they were riding; it was a Mustang they were driving. I don't know.
You'll never know, Rich. I will not disclose the secrets.
What was? Oh man, the name of that movie I'm thinking of. Oh man, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's your names now. You were Butch Cassidy,
Butch,
or is the Sundance? All right.
Call me Butch.
All right, Butch. Next song. We're gonna go on to the next song. All right. Yeah, we need to move things along, and we're gonna go on to a song called "Wind Me Up." And tell us a little bit about this one, if you don't mind, Butch.
So this song was recorded in Vancouver. It was produced by Smosa, which is a guy, anyway, a local producer. He's awesome, amazing. We wrote the song together. We released it in 2015. It was the first song that I had on the radio.
Okay. I love these.
It doesn't, it doesn't really have any meaning to it. It's kind of just like, have fun, be happy. And it was just a kind of a fun vibing out song that we wrote.
All right. Before we play it, I got to tell you, we had a shout out from Carol over in Queensland, Australia. Hey, Carol, hope you're doing well out there. And
hi, Carol.
Was responding. She was actually talking about the first song we played, Preach. She said, great upbeat music. And she said your laugh is worse than ours. But that's not really an insult.
I'm offended.
She's got a really, yeah. All right. She's got a good laugh, and you do too. So we're and any guest that comes on and is laughing as much as you do, we know they're having a good time, and we're doing our job. So we're okay here. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, the name of the song is
Just Stay Away from the Moldy House.
Yeah. Sounds like a movie, you know, a
I
horror
know,
movie.
I know. Oh my God,
man.
I could tell you some stories.
I'll bet you can. The name of the song is "Wind Me Up" by Michelle Butch Cassidy Joly, right here on Tuesdays Live. Take it away.
I make hits, not the public. I tell the DJs what to play. Understand? 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 Understand?
Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Down in history, we're gonna go down, my friend Sonny. We're gonna leave it all behind. None why. The only one who knows about the secrets in your soul. It's what you see, it's what you're told. A perfect life unfolds. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. We're gonna live another day. We might as well go on and play. We're gonna leave behind these fools of lies and empty truth. We're gonna live another day. We might as well go on and play. We're gonna leave behind these fools of lies and empty truths.
Understand?
Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. We are down, but we are. Wanna sing, 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 sing. Wouldn't die down. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Up and down, round and round, wind me up to hear that sound. Up and down, round and round, move your body to the sound. Up and down, round and round. Up and down, round and round.
Understand?
Up and down, round and round, 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 round.
Wind Me Up by Michelle Joly right here on Tuesdays Live. We hope you're all enjoying the show as much as we are today. We haven't had this much fun in the guest probably never. Although a couple weeks ago we had Wayne Rich on from Melbourne, Australia, and he was kind of a blast too, right, Rich?
He was crazy.
He was nuts. Yeah. Man.
But on his behalf, I've got to say, I don't think he was thrown in jail. So I don't know.
It's funny.
Hey, man, that's
He's
I
got
know
the
that's
look.
harsh. I apologize for that. But hey,
no,
You know.
it's not harsh. It's not harsh at all. I love my jail story.
I
I'm
do
so
too.
thankful.
Actually, Like I said, between you and Johnny Cash, I don't know which one's better. So,
Thinking about it, now I remember seeing you in one of the episodes of Orange is the New Black. I remember.
Okay, that is not what it's like to be in jail. Okay, it's way worse than that. That's not even.
Really?
That's
Wow.
it. Just doesn't even compare. I could tell you so many stories. It's crazy.
I'm sure you could.
Here's one story. So basically, you're only allowed to come out at certain times of the day out of your cell, and then you go in. There's this. So eating is one of those times, and there's a big long concrete table, and everybody shares this table. Like there might be eight of you or 10 of you, and then beside the table is a shower, and there's no shower curtain, and there's no towels, and you have like a tiny little cloth that's like your face cloth / towel, and it's like this big. And then there's a bathroom with no door on it. And that's where you shower and go to the washroom and eat all at the same time in front of other people. And so I used my sheet one time to like as a towel, and I got written up for using my sheet because I hung my sheet up to dry, and the sheet's supposed to be on the bed.
My God.
It's not even close to the same.
I'm just thinking. You said that you this room with the shower and the toilet. You do it all at the same time. I'm just trying to imagine somebody there holding a tray of food while they're lathering up.
That's not what I mean. You know what I mean is that
I
people could be showering while you eat, or
No, we understood. Yeah. Hey, I don't have a sponge. Can you throw me a slice of bread over there? I need something. Okay.
Need another biscuit.
No, you have to trade. You got to trade your bread for I used to trade my bread for grape juice.
For grape juice. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad it wasn't for something else. All right. We need to talk a little bit about you now, about your career. I mean, we have been talking about you, but we've been talking a lot about jail for the last half an hour. So we need to talk a little bit about your musical career. I'm wondering right now, actually, who are your inspirations? Who would you look to and say, I want to be just like her or him, or who inspires you?
There's a lot of musicians that inspire me. I don't want to necessarily be like any of them. I want to have my own uniqueness, but I've always kind of wanted to bring back the kind of Billie Holiday era and that sound and that passion. Just because it was so real and it was so raw, and there wasn't a lot of, vocal. They didn't put auto tune on the vocals, and I love that just old school vibe. And I've always kind of felt like I'm supposed to be like the next Billie Holiday or something. And she was really kind of like an inspiring figure to me. But people like you mentioned, Meghan Trainor, like that. I love her stuff. Definitely Adele. I love Adele's just person, or her persona, and just her realness, on stage. And she gets super nervous, just like how I get. And she's, humanitarian and has a really good kind of role model. Doesn't get caught up in all the drama and stuff. So that's kind of who I idolize. But there's a lot of people.
Well, makes sense. And Adele, you're right. Her persona and her voice is what made her famous. And she's a pretty woman, but my point being is that she didn't become famous because of the way she looked. She became famous because of her talent. And that's really the way it should be. It should be based on pure talent. Unfortunately, in this day and age, everybody's looking, you have a great voice and all that, but you don't have the look, and I hate that. I hate when I hear that. But now, do you record at home, or do you go to a studio, or where do you
put
all your stuff?
But when I'm releasing music, I've been recording at Blue Light Studio the most. I literally just moved to my own kind of bachelor pad, and it's a half a block away from the recording studio. I was there yesterday doing my music video for Olivia. And today I was there putting down a piano solo for Olivia. So it's really nice that the studio is right like next door in my neighborhood. But I've been recording there since 2012. So Cold Home, my second record, was recorded at Blue Light. I went and did some mixing and mastering in a different studio, but for the majority part, it was recorded there as well as in Alberta. So yeah, I love going to the studio. I've been in a lot of studios around town, but I just love Blue Light. I have it, like my whole album is recorded there because I actually got a grant from BC Arts Council for this album. And Blue Light helped me get it. So I would highly recommend any people in Vancouver, to go on down to Blue Light because they really have a great thing going on there.
All right. Shout out to Blue Light. Hope you guys are watching over there. Speaking of Olivia, then that's going to be your third song for the evening. And before you tell us a little bit about it, I'm curious first of all, who is Olivia? And one of the first thing that obviously jumps out is that you spell it with an A instead of an O. I'm so used to seeing the name Olivia with an O. And anyway, yeah. Tell us about it.
So Olivia is my little niece. She's like a mini me. She looks like me, and she's always smiling, and I just love her so much. And I don't get to spend a lot of time with her. She's my brother's daughter. But she really looks up to me, and I feel like she has like that kind of musical vibe in her too. And I wrote the song for her. It just kind of came out. I was kind of relating to her as a child and, sometimes feeling unbeautiful as a child, just because I grew up as an overweight child and, that can get really messy with other kids and stuff. So I just wanted her to know that she was so beautiful that the way she was. And that's really the essence of the song.
Oh, that's great. And how old is she now?
She's 8.
8 years old. And you said she might be listening. So if you noticed throughout the show, I was very careful. I didn't use any 4-letter words.
I noticed.
For you. Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, no, that was for you, Olivia. If you're out there watching, that was for you. Okay. And so a big shout out to you. And your aunt is we're gonna play her song right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Olivia by Michelle Joly right here on Tuesdays Live. Kick it right.
You are beautiful in your own special way. You are beautiful, Olivia. Don't wait, you have it all. At such a tender age, wits outweigh her face. Innocent, her passion still urgent. When will she realize she is beautiful in her own special way? She is beautiful, Olivia. Don't wait, you have it all.
Ready?
That's funny. You were laughing and Rich opened his mouth.
I know. Nobody's seen that.
That was Olivia by Michelle Joly, all about her niece who is listening. Where does she live in? Where does she live?
St.
Is she
Paul.
in Vancouver or in St. Paul?
She was in St.
All
Paul.
right. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that
Nice.
song's gonna be off my 4th record, which should be released, in July or August, somewhere around there, maybe beginning of August. Should be about 8 to 10 tracks on that album.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I when you are ready to release that album, make sure you get back in contact with us again so that we can promote it back on the
that
show.
Would be amazing.
That is if you can deal with Rich for another hour.
No.
Well, he's pretty hard to deal with.
That's if she can stay out of jail.
Yeah, right.
True. Hey,
Didn't
I
even
haven't
think
gone to
about
jail in 7 years. It's been 7 years, and I've been clean.
Hey, so you got off your probation. You're good to go now. You can start the crime spree again.
Just
All
so we
right.
clarify, I don't have a criminal record. Okay.
Just the jail tattoos.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Oh man, so many questions that I could ask about that, but it would have to be off the air. So I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there at all. What? So you've got your new album coming. You say August, give or take. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
it should be around August.
And then, are you already in the process of planning a new tour?
Kind of. I actually got hired for Princess Cruise Lines as a featured soloist. So I'm gonna take my album on there with me and like promote it there. I got 4-month contract. So yeah. I'll be
awesome.
Traveling all over. Yeah. So that's why I gotta get my work visa so I can work for Princess Cruises. And they're totally on board with me bringing the album on there and promoting it. And so that's kind of be my first tour with my album.
That's great. You know what? I was just on a cruise a few weeks ago, and it was on a Norwegian ship, and they had a comedian on there as doing a contract, and they too allowed him to promote he has a book and then CDs out, so they let him promote. So that's awesome. So this seems to be like a new trend. Yeah, that's great.
It's incredible that they're on board with that.
Which ship?
I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you know when I.
Yeah.
I don't have the contract in hand, but it's all kind of like in the works. So I have an agent that got me kind of the audition. I did the audition. I got hired, and now the steps are being taken to get the work visa and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, please let me know when you find out because, well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, if it's a ship out of South Florida, I could stop by and say hi.
That would be amazing.
You're in port. And the other reason is I'm also a travel agent, so I can. If someone says, "Hey, I want to go on this ship," I said, "You're gonna love this artist. You have got to go see this show." So
that's so sweet.
Hey, Rich, you there?
Mark.
How are we doing on my special request? Were you able to get it?
Yeah, it's not come in yet.
Really? Oh man,
nothing has come in.
All right, let me see if I can just put it up on the camera. So this is it's not too bright, isn't it?
No, we can read it if you just hold it where we can see it.
All right, I just want to get it up enough to get it there. That
put it down a little bit. There you go. Stop.
I love that.
That's my wife texting me from the other room, and that is about "Wind Me Up." She said she loves your song "Wind Me Up." She says it's a great jive because she used to be a ballroom dancer when she was younger, and Flashback by the Jay Giles Band, another great jive. That was always one of her favorites.
Tell her thank you so much. That's really awesome.
You just did. She's watching in the
oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, We have. Oh, she's laughing. she just texted me, LOL, 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 and she's probably blushing. So unfortunately, we're coming up to the top of the hour, which means we have to start closing the show out. And it's pretty sad because we could just keep going on and going on with you tonight. I mean, it's
that
just
was really fast. That whew, all of a sudden it's over.
It was really, really fast. I mean, thank you so much for taking the time and being so open about your issues that you've had.
Criminal past.
Yes,
yes.
You know what? Thank you guys. It was a real pleasure to be on here, and this is my first real kind of full on interview. It's really my first one. I've had a couple kind of, but nothing like this. So I really appreciate you guys' time.
And I got to tell you, you'll never have another one like this unless you come back here. But
which I am going to.
All right, now, for the record, Mark asked you to vote earlier in the show, so we got to find out. I mean, he's not going to let it drop.
Just before you answer, let me tell you, Rich has the button that can just cut you off, so it's all right. It's okay. You can call him.
So I'm okay.
You can say
I'm okay.
he was. Okay.
You know what? Truth is, neither one of you were boring. I had a great time. It flew by, and I'm not going to pick who was the most boring. I'll say I was the most boring.
We're glad to hear that. Yeah, I know, right?
I love how you look over at him. That's great.
Hey, we're only 1,000 miles apart, and I don't even have a window over there, so I can look over there all I want.
That's great.
Funny thing is I actually have to look in the opposite direction in order to make it look like I'm looking at him. So as I'm looking at the screen, he's on my right, but I have to look to my left to make it look like I'm looking at him.
And if he were like me, he would just put a monitor over there, so when he looked that way, I would be there, or whoever he's looking at.
My microphone is here; it'd be in the way.
I've got a monitor over here, and I've got a monitor over here, and I've got one out here, so I can look everywhere.
You're Mr. Techie over there. All right. Thanks again, Michelle.
Awesome to have you here. Love the music, and have a ball. Have a lot of fun on the cruise, but don't let them put you in the brig. I'm just saying.
I know.
Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I won't get back in the brig.
I hope
not. They might make you walk the plank this time. I don't know. All right.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week we have another lovely guest joining us. Her name is Jenny Vinatieri, and we're looking forward to having her on the show. There's a tweet from Carol. Great show, awesome guest. Michelle Joly, not sure about the hosts. Thanks, Carol. Thanks. You're always welcome on the show with us, Carol. You should join us sometime. All right. Rich, final words?
The only words I have to say are what I say every week, and that's good night, Carol.
Good night, Carol. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Same time, same station. We're going to close out the show with a song from Jenny Vinatieri. It's called Have a Nice Day. Nice to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Cruising down the highway, doing about 70.
So much fun. It's always gonna happen.
Making good time at a steady pace. Someone hot behind me.
Oh my God, my little niece Snapchat.
Just stay out of my way. Won't succumb to
Snapchat?
road rage. Nowhere fast, I'd rather
She said I'm
Blinkers
loving
on,
it.
switching lanes, pass me on the left.
She
Birdie
watched.
flash,
Oh my God,
smile
how
and
cute
say,
is this?
have a nice
Aww,
day.
I just love her.
Wanna enjoy the ride. Make waves with my hands out the window as I drive.
Mark and Rich do their best.
Down in the wind.
over. You guys know Snapchat? Rich.
Heading on the interstate, taking in the
Wow.
sights along the way.
You're gonna have to change that.
Got a feeling things will be okay. Someone's all up on me. On my tailgate, invading my space. You can do your own thing, just stay out of my way. It's not a cat and mouse chase. Life is not a rat race. Blinkers on, switching lanes, pass me on the left. Hey, birdies flash, smile and say, have a nice day. I wanna enjoy the ride. Make waves with my hands out the window as I drive. Let my hair down in the wind and fly. Shades on, the future's bright. Peace, love, not hate. Have a nice day. Peace, love, not hate. Wait, what? Hey! You can do your own thing, just stay out of my way. Won't succumb to road rage, nowhere fast, I'd rather wait. You can do your own thing, just stay out of my way. It's not a cat and mouse chase, life is not a rat race. I wanna enjoy the ride. Make waves with my hands out the window as I drive. Let my hair down in the wind and fly. Shades on, the future's bright. I wanna enjoy the ride. Make waves with my hands out the window as I drive. Let my hair down in the wind and fly. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Yeah, have a nice day.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.